All right, picking this one up on turn 7 in custom packs, and we're going to run the Scumbag Mantis plus Muskox combo because we're trying to get something a little bit unusual, and that is getting as many buses into the team as possible. Now, quite a while ago, someone did complete 5 buses in custom packs. I think actually 2 different people, maybe Infected Player and I think it was Tangle, got 5 buses in customs. However, that was done using the alpaca plus frog strategy. So you would use alpaca shop scaling to get a 50-50 shop, and then you can buy frogs that are immediately level 2 and swap the stats onto the buses. So we don't have that option anymore. So what exactly can we do? Well, I thought that Mantis Muskox was one way we could approach this, and I've got my frog ready, and I made the mistake with the secretary bird. It should have been behind the Muskox, because you can activate it in the shop if you get the double pill, so the Mantis is going to kill something, and then if you get one more pill, you're going to be able to trigger the secretary bird. So yeah, a bit of a misplay there, but never mind. All we're trying to do is scale the Muskox up as fast as possible and then transfer the stats onto a bus, which we can get quite easily using the Mantis's ability, and then fill the rest of the team with as many buses as possible. And we can use Mantis to feint things like Mammoth to give extra stats to the buses once we've got them. So again here, moving the secretary bird into position so we can pill the Mammoth, and we're going to get an extra trigger here. Now, if you're just doing this normally, you wouldn't necessarily have the frog, so you can actually have space for the Mantis to feint 2 things at once, and then the secretary bird will trigger immediately, and you don't need to find a pill. But with the frog on board, it's a little bit more awkward, and we need to find the pill as well. Always scary when half your team gets deleted by snipers, which is something that happens all the time in customs these days, but the Muskox is just so strong that it powers through the remainder of the units. So here's the first deer. And I'm going to move the secretary bird again and look for a pill for the mole, because it's definitely worth it for plus 6/6 that we're going to get from the secretary bird. I maybe could have used brought the deer in there and pilled it instead of the mole, although it does mean that I would then have to use the Mantis to feint the secretary bird, and we kind of want some more buffs from it before we get rid of it. So in the deer comes. This is quite a scary looking team with shark at the back, although it is only level 1 shark, and the bus is actually going to kill both the chicks, which is very fortunate. Muskox gets up to 50-50, so yeah, we should be fine. But I've run into quite a few sharks today. Level 2 shark at the back, and then a whole bunch of summons with weakness. It's pretty grim. So now the secretary bird, I can't remember if I keep it here or not. I think I do, because we can swap the stats, sell the Muskox, bring the deer in. And actually there I could have one-upped the deer. I didn't think about that. But here we get the pill, so I can actually sell Muskox, move the deer back behind in front of the secretary bird, pill it, and now the bus that gets spawned is going to get plus 6/6. So that works out pretty well. I think also it's probably mandatory to have melon on at least one of the buses. So we're going to use the Mantis to get one for relatively cheap here. And then I think I'll just give some extra stats to the second bus. It's lagging quite far behind its buddy. So I think if you were really trying to get, the full team of buses, you would probably need a second swap. So you'd probably need to have the frog either at level 3 or somehow find a triple frog very quickly. There's actually a frog there, but I wasn't even thinking about it at this point. We would want to try and swap stats off the Mantis as well. However, in this particular run, the Mantis is only level 1, so it's actually not gaining stats that quickly. But here we can bring the tapir in. I think I'm probably just going to take the flamingo this turn, but tapir, once we get down to having mostly buses on the team, we can pill the tapir and probably get another bus. Another scary looking team, however, here they do only have level 1 Cobra. So Although we're lucky here not to lose the melon on the main bus, but yeah, it's always scary again with the back vulture. I think they must have done some stat transfer themselves onto that vulture. So we'll pill the flamingo. Now I think here I could pill the tapir to trigger the secretary bird. Am I going to do it? The problem is I'm worried about getting another mantis or secretary bird instead of a bus. But I guess I'm going to risk it. And it's secretary bird, so not great. We are on 8 trophies though, so if I want to find more deer, I'm kind of running out of time. That's why the 1-up was important earlier. It would have been a lot better if I had used the 1-up to duplicate the deer. But easy to spot that in retrospect. Let's put the betta fish in, and then we can freeze the pill and the betta for next turn, and that will trigger the secretary bird again. Chameleon at the front. That's also always scary. However, it's not quite as bad when they have flashlight instead of the one from the gharial, the foam sword. That's just so busted, it's ridiculous. So we do tie, which is great because it does give us a little bit more time to find more deer, and double pill as well. So I'm going to roll looking for deer, and actually there I get it on the last roll. That's very fortunate. And we're going to bring it in. I think we're going to bring it in. I'm not sure what I'm thinking about exactly. The problem is, of course, that you can't run 4 buses and a mantis for more than one turn because the mantis will just kill the bus. But here we actually face hyena. That is extremely rare, and that was hyena plus Komodo. Very unusual build and very nice to see as well. So now we're down to triple bus, mantis, secretary bird. I could pill the mantis here actually to trigger the secretary bird, but am I just going to sell it? I'm going to sell it, bring in the betta, pill it. We're going to get plus 10, plus 8 there, I think it is. And now we just need another deer. Well, there's a tapir there actually, so I could sell the secretary bird, bring the tapir in and pill it. And then I'm going to unfreeze the mammoth just to try and look for deer or tapir on the next shop. Okay, I've changed my mind on the mammoth. And we've now got a team of 4 buses. It is turn 15 though. But we do have 3 hearts intact, which is very good. However, we'd really need another pill and another deer or tapir in order to get the full bus team. And also we have to lose here. And I didn't really think about that because I could have put the 50-50 bus at the back, and instead I just let it go up front and we win with the 4 bus team. Regrets, I have a few, but still pretty fun to see that actually win. And it definitely gives me hope that 5 buses is possible without the old alpaca strat. So here's a bit of gratuitous clownfish action. I'm always complaining about clownfish. I think I played, I don't know how many runs today, 30, 40 trying this. And I didn't take clownfish once. And then the one run I did take it, I got that set up with a muskox. And then we fast forward here. Nowhere near as good as the previous game. I think without having the secretary bird, it's very difficult to get the second or third bus up to higher stats. And then we get matched with this 1-up nightmare. Although actually they do have chocolate cake on the orca instead of 1-up. I'm not sure that's worth it necessarily for 1 extra spawn. And yeah, it looks like it's impossible for us, but it's actually going to be incredibly close. And if we only lost by 1 HP and one trumpet. So here's another clip that is bus related, although this one I wasn't actually going for getting buses myself. I can't remember what I was doing. But we get matched with an opposing bus, and that team is actually rudely going to kill their bus using the mantis. That's just misuse of the bus, in my opinion. I think we lose here. Yeah, definitely. I can't remember if there's anything in this beluga. Actually, we don't get to find out. However, What's going to happen here is I'm going to level up the muskox and get anglerfish. And now we can angle for a bus of our own. So I'm going to sell the seahorse, I think. Oh, I'm just going to combine the skunks. And we actually get the bus. Now you can see that it's a little bit glitched there because it shows the chili at the top. And then in the shop, it has the chili as well. So I've never seen that before, but that's very strange indeed. And yeah, I'm not sure why it's like that. You would think it would be like Scorpion, where it summons when it summons, it gets the peanut or the chili. But there, it seems like bus just doesn't exist without it. Very odd.